It's time to get in touch. Brought to you by Geisinger, Muncie, and Jersey Shore. State-of-the-art healthcare close to home. Every week, this public affairs show shines a spotlight on people and programs in our communities that improve the quality of life in Lycoming County and beyond. I'm Freddi Hammer, host of In Touch and news director at Backyard Broadcasting. We're helping our community get ready for winter with practical, potentially life-saving advice. Cold weather brings a whole new set of challenges, from slips and falls to hypothermia, heart strain, travel dangers, and even the winter blues. Joining me today is Star Bixby, a registered nurse with Geisinger, to walk us through what families or older adults, caregivers all need to know how to stay safe, healthy, and prepared for the winter. Thanks so much for being with us here today, Star. It's great to talk to you about winter safety.
Well, thank you for having me. Good morning.
It's really something that we aren't really into just yet. We only had a few flurries last week, but at this point we're headed straight to winter and we're going to have the icy conditions. I think that's really the first concern, isn't it? Like, oh, we have to shovel, darn it.
Just with what little bit of precipitation we had earlier this week with that black ice that we had, you can see we had several car accidents and slips and falls, and I think those are the things that's the most important to remember in the winter is the hidden dangers of winter weather, like the ice that you don't see and that causes the slips and falls, especially with our elderly persons. Those are the things that really cause the most damage to patients in the winter. It's just that hidden, that anything that's just hidden that you can't see.
Sure, and you're not thinking about it on the first day of flurries, like, oh, it's just flurries. And there it is, black ice right on the roadway on 220.
Exactly. We go outside, we aren't prepared with the right clothing, we aren't layered up, we don't have the right shoes on that have good soles or treads. We're just not honestly prepared. So that's what causes injuries, unfortunately.
So I guess that's our first task is to get ourselves some good footwear, wouldn't you say? What kind of footwear should we get?
Yeah, just to say anything with good traction. Like some people who really like to do a lot of outdoor work and they're doing things outside all day in the elements, they'll actually wear ice cleats if they need to. That gives them just that extra little bit of traction. But for our normal, everyday people, just making sure that you have good tread on whatever shoes you're wearing, because if the tread is worn off, it's just like being on ice, period. You will fall and you will have some injuries with that. So we always tell people just make sure you have the proper shoes on and good tread on those shoes.
So you pull up in your car to a place that has a super icy sidewalk that no one's taking care of. Maybe you should carry your own cat litter or salt in your car. Is that an idea?
Absolutely, and we see a lot of people who do just that. People are like, why do you have a big bucket of cat litter in your car or this and that? And you're like thinking ahead because you never know when you're going to get stranded on the highways, especially here in Pennsylvania, right? We've had that happen countless times. So we tell people, keep a little bag in there so it's like a little survival bag in your car. Have some power bars or some granola bars in there and some small snacks, some waters. Keep a supply of your medicines in there. Keep a warm blanket. And keep those things in there for your car. Like some people keep a small shovel in there in case they get stuck or they need to shovel their way out, or to keep those things to help melt some of the ice and the snow that are out there. So it's always good just to think ahead and be prepared.
Whenever you have a 72-hour kit or some kind of kit to keep us safe, it's like change it as we change the clocks. Like they always say, change your food storage on, when we're falling back. Maybe the same thing. Keep a supply of things in our car that may be old from last year, but we resupply here coming up this season.
Absolutely. And you don't think about it until it's you sitting in that weather, or you that have had your car break down and you have an incident where you're stuck out in the elements. You don't realize how quickly you can lose your body temperature and you can be exposed to those elements. It doesn't take long, especially with our elderly patients and people out in the community. It doesn't take long for them to lose their body temperatures and have adverse effects from that.
That blanket that you can find, it's like the little silver blanket that seems like a piece of plastic. Is that something? I've never used one. Is that just really helpful? Is that the thing to have in an emergency?
They are. I mean, you see a lot of survival people carry those. I know in all my years when I flew with Life Flight, we always had the foil blankets, and we keep them in our aircraft as well and on our ground trucks just for that reason, to help keep people warm, because it's a funny scenario, but it's just like a big baked potato type container. Once you get wrapped up in it, it keeps all your body heat in one area. So they do help people. We'll see them like the military use them a lot as well. Okay. So we've learned some of our best lessons from our military personnel. So, if it's good enough for them to use out in the areas that they're at, it's even better for us to use at home.
Certainly. I'm a person that's definitely going to go outside without a coat. I'm going to go out because I'm kind of a hot-natured person. But people with families, and you might say, oh, the kids don't need a coat, but they're smaller, and they're going to definitely need to have something to make sure that they don't have any kind of hypothermia or, especially if they're out too long. But what does hypothermia look like in an adult or a child?
So when you get hypothermia, you just have to worry about people. They'll get, especially our older patients and people in the area, they'll get confused. You'll see them, their speech will get a little slurred, almost like they'll present almost like they're having a stroke for some people.
Oh.
They'll be really super tired. And the shivering that they'll have will be almost uncontrolled at times. So those are the big things you look for, mostly in anybody who's been out too long. So that's why we tell them, try to wear the moisture-wicking clothing, layer up. So you can always take layers off and put them back on. But it's always nice to make sure that you have those things. And then, if it's extremely cold, because sometimes it may not be super cold, but you have that wind chill, which is really what's going to cause the worst damage, because the last thing you want to do is expose yourself to frostbite or frost nips, because then those things can really be painful and they can have a long recovery for some people.
And what about hunters? They're just sitting still out in the woods in the dark, and they really have to have layered clothing as well.
Yes, they do. And, the things right now, we do a lot of hunter safety courses, and we teach them, make sure you layer up, wear your bright clothing, make sure you're wearing your harnesses when you're getting up and down out of your tree stand.
Yeah.
We really push our stop the bleed teaching with our hunters, in case they accidentally are shot while they're hunting, or they fall and they break something that causes an open fracture or some type of bleeding.
Yeah.
We always encourage our hunters to make sure that they have tourniquets on them so that they can help prevent uncontrolled hemorrhaging or bleeding out in the field. So that's a huge push for us right now with our hunters.
Certainly people with the first aid training, that tourniquet is something that's like the emergency thing, the last resort, it seems like, isn't it?
Absolutely. They make great stocking stuffers for your families. I know my family kind of looked at me like I was crazy a couple years ago, and they all got one. But you know what? They carry them with them when they go hunting, and they have them in their car. So, it's the little things sometimes that make the biggest difference for people. So whether they use them or they never need to use them, at least I know that they have them there, and they have that life-saving ability if they need it for themselves or somebody else.
So pivoting now to illnesses. I mean, we definitely are going to keep track of making sure we're warm outside and layered and have safe walking conditions. But then we're dealing with illnesses too, like things sort of recurring. And we have measles coming around and whooping cough coming around. So what are the concerns with cold weather and respiratory illnesses?
So as we know, it always brings everything to the forefront when the weather changes. The big thing we tell people is make sure you keep up on all your vaccinations. Get your flu vaccines, get your COVID. Some of our elderly people, get your shingles vaccines. I mean, it's never going to hurt to have yourself adequately prepared for whatever illnesses are coming around.
Sure.
Washing your hands, it seems like the silliest thing to tell people, but if you wash your hands constantly, it's only going to protect you more and protect others around you.
Yeah.
Don't touch your face. Like a lot of people, it's just habit. You touch your face and you do everything, but you don't think about how dirty your hands could be prior to touching your face. If you're sick, stay home.
Yeah.
Nobody wants you to come and share your illness with them. So if you're not feeling well, excuse yourself from whatever event it is and just stay home until you're feeling better, so we're not spreading your illness or germs to others. And then what we tell people, because everybody's turning their heat on in their homes right now, keep your homes humidified so that you're not having just the warm air in your houses. It always helps to do a little bit of humidification in the air.
People with wood stoves have to keep a pot of water on their wood stove for that. I've always seen families with that kind of thing, keeping it moist inside the house.
Absolutely, because it really dries up your nasal passages and can actually make some people a little bit worse, and then we have people who have already have known respiratory illnesses, in this weather, in these type of exposures to different germs, and illnesses can only make it worse for them as well.
Sure. If we're feeling well and we're going to go out and shovel, you don't expect to have a heart attack in your driveway, but you have to make sure that you're conditioned enough to shovel snow and take care of outdoor activities, which are more strenuous, I think, than we think.
Yeah, we see a lot of that in the winter because we all think, we're these winter warriors. We can go out and it doesn't matter our age or our health conditions. We can go out and we can shovel our own walks in our driveways, but we don't realize just how heavy that snow is some days and what that extra burden is on our bodies, especially if we have a known heart disease or we've had a known heart attack or a stroke or things like that in the past. We don't realize how much that puts a stress on our bodies and how we respond to that stress. So we always encourage people, if you have young neighbors, have them shovel your walk, have them shovel your driveways.
Right.
Or if you don't have that ability, do a little bit at a time. We tell people, push the snow, don't lift it. Things like that. Try to work smarter about how you're doing things because, as we know, some of this snow is really heavy. And if you're out there working for a while, that'll really take a toll on you as a person that could cause a untoward effect, unfortunately.
Even walking in snow that's not shoveled, I mean, you're doing all, cardio basically out in the snow when you're out there walking.
Absolutely you are. It's a lot of work, especially if you're in a weakened state to begin with. It really takes a toll on you, and it really makes your bodies work a lot harder than what they need to.
We want to tell people that we're out there doing it, too. You don't want to be the one that nobody knows, hey, where's mom? Keeping accountable.
Absolutely, and just encouraging people that if you start to feel bad or you start to have chest pain or you start to feel not quite right or feeling ill, don't wait around. Just dial 911 and get the help that you need to you. We're very fortunate that we have some amazing ambulance services in our area that have quick response times. Even though we're a rural community in some areas, the response times are amazing. So we always encourage everybody, if something doesn't feel right, don't ignore your body. Do self-care and call 911 as soon as possible.
Certainly. We talked a little earlier about putting stuff in our car to make sure that we have hydration and food and the warm things that we need if we're stuck out on the road. But it's also taking a little bag of things to make sure we can charge our phones and making sure that our cars are properly prepared and maintained, right? I mean, that's also a winter thought.
Absolutely. Always make sure in the winter that you have a full tank of gas. Even if it seems silly, you're going every couple of days and you're filling up your car. It's always important to have that extra gas on board, or like we talked about earlier, just the warm clothes, the snacks, the drinks, the kitty litters, the good car brushes to clean off your car, things like that, because you never know where you're going to end up or what you're going to need or what somebody else may need. So It's just something where we always tell everybody, just make sure you're travel ready and you're safe to go out into the conditions.
Some of those roads, like if you're heading over like on 880 and there's no guardrails into those mountains, you could go right off the edge. And if you have the things you need, you could definitely get someone to come help you.
And we tell people, if you have like the flashlights, get the nice bright LED strobing flashlights because people can see those. And I don't know how many times we've had people who have been found because somebody has seen either the taillights of their car or their headlights or a flashlight or a strobe of some kind.
Sure.
So it's always important to have those little things in your car. If you have young kids, our daughter just started driving this year. Guess what? She got a car safety kit and she's got a stop the bleed kit in her car. It's like you just make sure they're prepared the best they can for any situation. But winter makes it even a little bit more treacherous for people.
My father had given me one of those implements. It's like a hammer. It will cut your safety belt. It'll crack the window. It's like one little thing, and it's really a great item. Yeah. I love having it.
Yeah, we encourage those, and we'll actually give those out at a lot of our teaching events and our health fairs and stuff because those things are invaluable. Like you said, they can do so many different things.
Yes.
That it's really important to have.
And it's also important to stay warm in our homes. Many people here facing issues with the LIHEAP and the federal shutdown that we're still sort of working to get back to normal. But the LIHEAP payments for heating in people's homes is going to be delayed. And some people may be using their ovens for warmth. And that's certainly something we don't want to do.
No, we don't ever want to do that. And you'll see people who use little space heaters or gas heaters or kerosene heaters in their homes. And they don't realize how dangerous those things can be and how easily they can start fires within the home. So we tell people, make sure that if you have some of those things like that, that you have adequate ventilation, but you also want to make sure you have CO2 detectors in your homes. That's a silent and deadly killer for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So we always encourage people that if you're going to have any kind of heat in a closed spaces like that where you have fumes or any potential for CO2, to make sure you have those readers in your homes. Very,
Wow.
very important.
Gosh, that's not, you don't think about that.
No, you don't. And you want to make sure that you don't have curtains or these heaters up against anything. I know it's really desperate times for some people, but you have to be smart about what you're doing so that you don't have a fire or something worse.
Sure. There's other guests that we've had here on In Touch, Hats for Heat, Vince Reeder and Echo Mitchell. They do a service, it's a nonprofit, to provide heating oil for people who are recommended that are in these situations. So if you do know anybody that is going through this and has a open flame for heat in their home, please contact Hats for Heat on Facebook. Just wanted to throw that out there.
That's amazing. Thank you. We will definitely share that with our people that we get here.
Yes.
Because right now it's a struggle for so many people between food and heat. It's just really tough times out there.
Would you say that this is also a time where people kind of get sad? I mean, there's not as much light. We don't have as much vitamin D, which keeps us a little happier, or whatever it is that keeps us happy. And I guess it's sort of the winter blues that kick in, I guess, a little bit.
Winter blues and holiday blues. I think a lot of people this time of the year, we sadly see an increase in our patients and people who come in with depression or suicide ideations, things like that, who just need that extra support and guidance and reference to outside resources or inpatient services. Because as you said, you get up, it's dark, you go to bed, it's dark, the weather makes it so people can't travel as much, so contact with others is limited. In the holidays, if you're missing somebody or you don't have a good support system, the holidays can always bring to surface a lot of those feelings for people. So we deal with a lot of depression and suicidal ideations around this time of the year, and it's really sad to see. So we try to make sure that we have all the services in place to get help to all these individuals so we can get them in a better place, and get them in a healthier situation.
And to assess your neighbors and friends and being able to know, they're not quite right. Maybe I should go and check on them, stuff like that.
Yeah, or drop a meal off, or just a little something to let them know, hey, I'm thinking about you. There are people here. If you need something, please, we're here,
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where it's nice just to show a little humility and just check in on your neighbors and your friends.
Absolutely.
It's that time of the year.
All right. Well, we want to definitely keep our nutrition and hydration up. I mean, bad foods make us sad. Isn't there should we just eat better and it'll keep us in a better frame of mind? I mean, that's one way to do it.
Oh, definitely. Eating better is always going to make you feel better about yourself. I think the hardest thing that we see, with working with the local food banks and stuff, is food disparity is such an issue for our area that sometimes eating healthy is just not an option for a lot of people because of the cost. So I think having the local food banks and distribution centers that give out the fresh proteins and the vegetables and the things like that truly, truly helps our community a lot, to help them eat healthier and make better choices. We do help in the food banks, and as nurses, we can help show them better food choices, especially if we know that they're suffering from diabetes or hypertension or stroke or heart issues. So that's what's really nice of letting our hospital be involved in distributing foods, is we can also do some teaching along with, helping to give good food out to people that has been donated throughout the community. So I think it's okay to have that little bit of a cheat day and have your favorite dessert or your sweetened coffee or whatever it is your sweet treat is to go to. But you always have to remember you got to get the good, healthy stuff in there, too, if you want to keep your mind sharp and keep yourself feeling good.
Absolutely. And we want to make sure that when we are with our family and our friends, we've got to take care of our pets as well. So keep them from having any kind of issues outside as well.
Absolutely. We want to make sure that our little fur buddies are taken care of. You see, unfortunately, some dogs that are outside a lot in the cold weather. We have to remember that they need to be kept warm and they need to have the treats and be kept inside, especially in the colder weather. I mean, for many of us, there are fur babies, there are families, and if you see something out there that's not right and you see an animal that's in need, please contact the appropriate authorities so we can get help for those animals.
Certainly. And let everybody know that if you do know of anybody that's having any kind of issues, get the neighbors to help out too. Maybe they could all bring meals. We can all be friendly and make sure that everybody's safe and comfortable this winter season.
I know there's a lot of community groups out there that will help provide meals. I know we work very closely with Eat Share in Williamsport. They provide free meals to families who need them. I know the food bank has food. I know a lot of people are doing food boxes for the Thanksgiving holiday. So if you need help with food items, they're out there. If you need to help take care of neighbors, take care of family members, there are definitely, as you said, many resources out there to help people. Good-hearted people.
The United Way provides 211. If you have any questions, just dial 211, and that advocate will help you get to the right nonprofits that will help you.
Yeah, there's so many good resources. We're very fortunate in this area that we have a lot of really dedicated, good people who just want to be good humans and help others. And I think in this day and age, that's really something we should be proud of as a community.
Well, thank you, Star Bixby, RN at Geisinger, Muncie, and Jersey Shore. It's so great to have your expertise. Like, you sort of have the common sense thoughts that were like, oh, yeah, we should try that. You're a voice of reason, Star. It's very wonderful to have you on InTouch.
Oh, well, thank you for having me, and I hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday.
Thank you. Stay safe for the whole season this year, Star.
All right. Thank you so much.
InTouch is locally produced in our studios at 1685 4 Mile Drive in Williamsport. To get in touch with us for questions, comments, or topic ideas, call weekdays 570-323-8200 or email me at fhammer@backyardbroadcasting.com. For archived files of our InTouch shows, find our Backyard Podcasting link on any Backyard Broadcasting website or subscribe to our YouTube channel, Backyard Broadcasting. The programming discussed here on InTouch does not necessarily reflect the feelings or opinions of the management or staff. Thanks for listening to InTouch. Brought to you by Geisinger, Muncie, and Jersey Shore. State-of-the-art healthcare close to home.